that sweet fucking kitty. Here we go.
We are here, joined by our cat's godfather.
Oh, so what is the name of the Ace Attorney case where I cut both of your brakes without telling you, so I can claim my right to Navi?
The mystery of the great downhill tragedy.
There we go.
All right. Video game.
Oh, I'm controlling it.
They're available. We play them.
We do.
How long has it been?
Sonic is there. We're not
No,
playing
it's only
Sonic?
been 2 months at most?
Yeah.
Inscription actually wasn't that long.
Maybe like a month and a half at most, but it feels like it's been ages
Yeah.
since Ace Attorney.
For sure.
We played the first one, then we played Inscription, now we're playing this one, and then Omori, and that's the sequence of events. That's the order of operations.
Omori.
That's PIM
Oh Yasumi, close your eyes and you'll leave this dream.
Navi has decided that she wants the curtains to be open.
I don't think she's decided. She's kind of like
That's
doing
what
a
I
little
like
like
about her.
whoop,
She's
whoop,
real
whoop,
go-getter. She thinks, I want the curtains open, and then she makes it happen.
whoop.
It just happens.
Oh, I remember this doc. Mm.
I think you do continue. to
But
start
just
the
in
game?
case, to show you that I haven't forgotten, I'm gonna hit load game
Oh.
and then boot file for.
Because
It's for sure our file.
For sure.
I do actually think, no, we do New Adventure.
Oh yeah.
But it's
wait.
good that you remembered that.
Hey.
Yes.
That's a touch bit quiet, isn't it?
Yeah, why is the game so quiet? Let me look at OBS real quick and make sure it's, like, not
Hope it's not like blasting people in the stream.
You go,
more votes for Egg Boy game. Your votes are recorded.
Hey.
hey,
They go
it's
down
a
for posterity.
good Egg Boy game.
What's Egg Boy game?
Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a strategy guide go up for sale for it for like $10, and I'm like, that is quite the good game, and I could learn how to play it.
Gabe, is our audio okay? I ask this time because it just sounds really quiet to us.
It's like quiet on the TV, but it may be like extremely loud on y'all's end. Like the TV monitor is literally at 100.
Maybe the PC volume is low.
That's what the quiet game.
So it is
Huh.
the PC volume. So hold up. Turn the TV down.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
So I'm gonna set the TV volume to 50. I see the number, and then
You see the number.
probably that. Oh. Interesting.
That is interesting.
Weird, right?
What have
What's
I
weird?
done?
Happening.
The computer volume is at 100.
Raise that.
It doesn't go up more.
No, I mean the menu.
The menu.
That's loud.
Yeah,
Next
the
to that.
computer is loud. It's just the switch that's quiet for whatever reason.
Okay. Hang on here. Hang on.
Hang on.
Home button.
Home button. I think the volume's tied to the TV once it's in dock mode.
Weird.
Weird indeed.
Yeah, that is strange to me, but I'm just gonna turn it to 100, and I'm gonna turn this volume up, and then Gabe can inform us
Oh,
of the quality of
that
the
already
sound.
sounds louder.
Yep.
God, I can't wait for you to forget to turn the volume down after stream and just scare the shit out of yourself later tonight after I'm gone.
Just like the whole neighborhood complains.
There we go.
There we go.
In fact, that might even go down a little bit. Yeah, fuck all that. Wrong game. Fuck all that shit.
Bro,
No.
oh,
Incorrect.
oh,
That's
no.
the wrong game.
No. I don't want to see old man die again.
You don't.
whose name is escaping me. Airlock Shomes.
Wilson.
Wilson.
Perfecto. Okay, thank you.
Nice, nice.
Game.
It's time to be gamers. It is gaming time.
Hey, did you know that the Grumps started doing 10-minute power hour again?
I didn't know they stopped.
They stopped for like 2 years because of COVID.
Huh.
All right.
That makes sense. I never put it together though. Select adventure?
I have only seen
yeah. You've only seen what?
I've only seen 2 of their new episodes. But one literally has Matthew Mercer in it. They're both very, very good.
Nice.
Like, holy shit.
I'll check them out.
Oh?
Big
Each
cloud.
episode?
Big tree.
Nippon? Nippon!
Have fun lurking.
Have fun working.
I know work won't be fun, but enjoy yourself
目の
anyways.
覚めるような澄み渡った青空の下に立つと、ロンドンでのあの日々がまるで嘘のようでございます。懐かしい異国の大帝都。あの方はそれは立派な弁護士になられました。
Aww.
今もきっと彼女の法廷で勇敢に戦っていると存じます。
Yup, sure.
Him and Hairlock are just fucking going to town in the attic.
ご挨拶が遅くなって本当に申し訳ございません。帰国より慌
Papa.
ただしい日が続いたものでございますから。それに一体誰が想像したでしょうか。この国に戻ってからたった2ヶ月。
Oh god damn
Uh-oh.
it. This fucking bitch.
今日はご報告に参りました。
Oh.
明日、私は大審院の法廷に立ちます。一生にただ一度。弁護士として。
Let's go!
Let's fucking go.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
All
she the one
right.
that's dead? Let's go.
Oh
Okay, that's
my
fine.
god.
That's fine, let her die.
力を与えてくださいませ。
What's her name?
Holy shit.
様
What's her name? Humegalo?
Oh, so I guess her papa's okay.
Oh.
Alright.
Oh, that is Kazuma's grave, not her dad.
Yeah.
Aw. I wish it was her dad.
Oh.
Just kidding, he's a
Same.
nice guy.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be reminded.
Kazuma-sama.
Kazuma, bro! And the first thing I'm gonna do here...
What will you do?
There is no X speed option. That's fine.
Oh, you can just press the button while it's typing and it'll do the thing.
Oh, you're right.
So, Kristen, there you go.
Here I am again after 9 months, the Supreme Court of the Judicature of Japan. I feel so nervous, but I must steel my nerves and find a way to compose myself. Papa!
Which one of us did him?
I don't know.
Oh, good, you're here. It doesn't do for a lawyer to be late.
Papa, what happened to your voice? Oh,
It's
yes.
the illness.
Good morning, sir.
I hardly recognize you. You cut a fine figure, Counsel. But you look as white as a sheet, and those wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either.
Oh, dear. The truth is, I'm so incredibly nervous I feel utterly nauseated. I almost wish that I'd never been born.
Goodness, not the sort of thing a father hopes to hear from his daughter, I might say.
This is my dad, Yujin Mikatoba, professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University. A man who earlier in his life traveled to Great Britain to study the latest advances in forensic medical science.
Oh shit, your dad's cool.
Very. And of course, my brilliant father.
Excuse me. Oh. Would I be correct in thinking that you're to be my lawyer in court today?
Yep, that's right, miss.
Well, I want to thank you for agreeing to represent me. I swear on my life. It's complete fabrication, this whole thing.
Ray Membani, born the same year as I, and my greatest friend.
Aw, bestie!
Yeah.
Though unusual for a woman in our time, she works at the university research laboratory helping my father. And sadly, she's the defendant in today's trial, accused of committing a truly awful murder. Are you feeling alright? Since we started talking, you seem, well, to have become a little flushed.
Oh my, it's just that you look so gallant and dashing. Kiss me on the fucking lips.
Sorry?
I mean, and when I fall under your intense gaze, no, this isn't getting better. It makes me feel rather bashful.
Yo, is Sato, like, dressed up in guy's clothing or something?
Yo, that'd be, God, the best twist.
I don't think she knows. She hasn't realized who I am.
Oh.
Wow.
Watarima.
It would seem our little plan for this trial is going to work.
What do you mean, Professor Mikatoba? You're right. You're totally fucking right. That's crazy!
If even your best friend can't see through the disguise, I think we can relax.
Disguise?
Yes. I've never tried dressing this way before, of course, so I wasn't sure how convincing it would be. But this does make me feel a little relieved, as you say, Father.
Father? What? Is that you, Susato?
I'm so sorry I didn't say something sooner, Ray. It's just that...
No! What are you doing? What's going on? What? That varsity uniform, the varsity cap, the varsity cape, that varsity badge! Look at you! You look for all the world just like a student of the Imperial Yume University, a male student.
Yes. I'm so glad you think so. It means all my preparations have been worthwhile. I woke at 4 this morning to make a start.
But I don't understand. Why are you dressed like that?
Well, you see, women aren't allowed in the court.
Whammon.
It was the only way. The only way she would be permitted into the Supreme Court to take on your defense in this trial.
My defense?
Yup, yours. Never before in my life have I felt so frustrated at never been born into this body. Of course, in Japan are barred to women. We're not even allowed to set foot inside the courtroom. Despite the fact that the laws of the land apply to all people, male and female alike.
But women are forbidden.
Just for today, I'll be leaving my true self at the courtroom door, so that I can act as your lawyer.
Oh, Susato, you'd go to such lengths for me?
Of course, you're my greatest friend. I just worry that I shan't be the lawyer you deserve.
Oh no, I have complete faith in you.
Ray.
It's so strange, though. I mean, you're such an accomplished judicial assistant already. Yet just because you're a whammon. What a wretched reason. I mean, why shouldn't you be allowed in court? You're so gallant and dashing.
Ray. Please don't look at me like that, with those flushed cheeks and doting eyes.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just... You really do look so dashing,
Oh
and it is
my.
Pride Month after all.
Yes, you mentioned that once or twice. I know that as practice.
You should be pleased. It means you look convincing as a man.
I am pleased, I think. It certainly helped to bolster my confidence today. Ray.
I can't. This game is so good at characters and expressiveness that when the model, like, goes from something really default to just sliding into center, like, blank stare, it will always destroy me.
You're managing to put on a brave face in all this, but I can see through it. I've noticed how your shoulders are slumped and how you're trembling ever so slightly.
Hey, yo? Susato, you do believe me, don't you? I didn't do it. I couldn't have. I mean, murder?
Of course. You have nothing to worry about. Your conscience is perfectly clean. Isn't that right?
Yes. Yes, it is. Perfectly clean.
I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about your innocence, which is why I'll stand by you until the bitter end in this trial. Whatever happens, I'll always be on your side. Because that's what it means to be a defense lawyer.
Hey, who'd you learn that from? That means so much to me, Susato.
Defendant, counsel! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once.
Time for the tutorial again.
You should go in at once, Ray. If you're late, the judge won't hesitate to pronounce you guilty.
Oh. Stand aside!
I don't think I've ever seen her run so fast.
Well, Susato, you've certainly surprised your father. Going to such lengths to be admitted into the courtroom, with no prior experience of being a lawyer.
There was simply no other way. That's all there is to it. But Father, you haven't told her, have you? I mean, I'm right in assuming that Ray doesn't know how it came to this.
Yes, quite right. I've kept that information from her. It would only worry her if she found out that no other lawyer would agree to take her case. I don't want to burden her with that.
And is it true? The reason why every other lawyer is refusing to take the case? Is it really because of who the victim was?
We should be making a move now, too. As you know, law isn't my field, but I'll do what I can to support my student.
Thank you, Father. I'm Susato Mikotoba, a judicial assistant. 8 months ago, I accompanied a student of law on a study trip to Great Britain. But 2 months ago, due to unforeseen circumstances, I found myself back in Japan. How many times have I wished that he were here, I wonder. Still, I have no other choice now but to steel myself for the trial ahead. Wish me luck, Naruhodo-san.
Help yourself.
I'm taking Zaksaki.
How could you?
This court is now in session to hear the trial of Ray Membani.
The prosecution is fully ready to proceed, Your Honor. Oh, he's back. Mr. Ouchie. Oh, hello!
Oh my god.
Wow!
I love it.
Defense counsel, are you ready? Yes, Your Excellency, we are ready.
Right.
Oh, let's go. The fucking eyes darting everywhere.
Ah, yes, counsel. According to your registration details, your name is, Ryutaro Naruhodo? Is that correct?
Sorry?
Yes, I thought I had to come up with a suitable male name for you for this little venture. So I'm afraid to say I simply put down the first name that sprung to mind. Well, counsel?
Yes, that's right. That's me. I mean, Yes, I am Ryutaro, he who vowed to uphold the pride of the great Naruhodo clan.
Ah. It seems Ryutaro may need to consider how to better uphold his manly act first and not overdo it. And those wild, wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Just relax and listen.
Naruhodo? A fresh face in this courtroom, if I'm not mistaken. But the name Naruhodo, would that perchance be...
You may be thinking of Ryunosuke Naruhodo, currently in Britain as part of a study program. That is,
His cousin.
That's right, Ryutaro here has been studying in the provinces, but was called to the capital for this trial. I assure you, in matters of law, his knowledge rivals that of any of Tokyo's preeminent lawyers.
Any of them.
Tut, what a pitiful situation. Having been rejected by every lawyer in the capital, the accused has had to call on the country boy. How dare you? Soto is every bit as gallant and dashing as any of your Tokyo attorneys. I won't have you making fun of her. Her? Oh,
Please be careful, Ray.
What an unrefined tomboy we have here. But I wonder, is your gallant and dashing lawyer up to the challenge of defending you? His wide, skittish eyes are very much suggest that he is not.
Ugh, I'm so nervous. Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand why what Naruhodo-san goes through. Like it or not, eyes are wont to flip.
The case to be heard on this day is a matter of great significance to our national interests. In fact, it would be reasonable to assume that the outcome of this trial may well affect the very future of our empire.
Just like the trial 9 months ago. And yet, for proceedings of such importance, we have this unknown yokel by the dock? Dear me.
Perhaps this would be an appropriate moment for me to assess the defense, to determine whether you are sufficiently competent to practice in this courtroom. 9 months ago, when a certain other Naruhodo stood where you're standing now, the same judge tested him as well. And even though he was just a student at the time, not even of law, he passed the test with flying colors. For a trained and experienced judicial assistant like you, this will be easy. So, counsel, do you consent to answering some simple questions?
I do consent to. Oh!
Oh, that's a good stance.
Let's go. Alright, it's time to prove myself.
Let's go!
Yes, Your Excellency, but please do make them simple.
Very well. To start with, you will state the name of the victim.
Huh, that's simple. I couldn't forget that if I tried.
Oh, it's not an option yet.
What's the matter?
Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand something else he goes through. Like it or not, mines are wont to blank.
It's not surprising, really. It's your first time in this position, and, in that guise. Even a bright spark like you is bound to flicker and falter a little under the circumstances.
Oh dear, this is a small failure.
Oh, Fred, you need only use the knowledge you've gained as a judicial assistant to overcome the problem.
Of course, the court record. The answer will come to me in the court record.
That's right. Just use R to open the court record. We'll then need to flip to the People section with R. And don't take long to overdo it. His Excellency is watching you closely.
Alright, check the court record with That's where the information I need will be.
There it is!
Alright. Giselle Brett is dead.
I'm waiting, counsel. What is the name of the victim in this case?
Giselle Brett, Your Honor.
Takatsuchi Ouchie.
He, The name of the victim who lost her life in this case was Miss Giselle Brett.
Giselle Brett.
A name that will never be forgotten in the courtrooms of our country, I'm sure. Correct. In being a member of our empire's judiciary, you will be well aware of the significance of that name. So, let me pose another simple question. As you know, Miss Brett was a visiting student from the Empire of Great Britain.
Yeah.
Why, then, is her name indelibly associated with our own empire's judicial history? Obviously, you won't have forgotten that case from 9 months ago.
Obviously, I did not forget the first case from the first game in this series.
But if it's proving hard to recall the finer points, everything is in the court record.
Yeehaw!
Obviously, I still remember. That was the start of everything. Giselle Brett, behind the woman student persona, was the face of a killer. 9 months ago, a visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University was killed. And the culprit was Giselle Brett.
Yes, she was a killer. Psycho killer. At the time, our country had just signed a new treaty with the Empire of Great Britain, and it was in the midst of this delicate diplomatic situation that the incident occurred. An Englishman, Dr. John H. Wilson, was shot dead.
F.
I believe he was an associate of yours, Professor Mikitoba. Oops. Yes. Why were you copying my voice? I was indebted to the man. He's been a mentor when I went to London to study forensic medicine. Indeed, it was I who invited him here to Japan as a visiting professor in the first place. Naturally, the murder of an Englishman in our soil was a matter of government wished to resolve rapidly. Indeed, it was, which is why a secret trial was conducted here at the Supreme Court. A student of the Imperial Yume University was arrested on suspicion of murder. A second-year English language student by the name of Ryunosuke Naruhodo, with the help of his best friend, a student lawyer, the accused conducted his own defense and exposed the despicable crime committed by Miss Giselle Brett. Miss Brett eventually admitted to her crime. However, when questioned about the motive that drove her to take Dr. Wilson's life, she gave no satisfactory answer before the trial reached its conclusion.
Immediately after the trial, the British government brought its consular jurisdiction into play. We were unable to sentence Miss Brett according to our empire's laws. We decided that she would be removed to Shanghai, China, instead.
Why Shanghai?
There's a British consular court there. Correct. I oversaw the negotiations personally. The date of her transfer to Shanghai was finally settled upon last week. All that remained of our empire's obligations was to see the woman safely on board a steamship.
And yet, the very day before her departure, the English woman was killed.
Only the day before?
That will do. I'm satisfied that the counsel for the defense is sufficiently capable of representing the defendant.
Oh. Thank you, Your Excellency. Over the first hurdle, on to the next.
Now a summary of the incident, if you please. Prosecutor Ouchie?
As is your wish, Your Excellency. The repugnant crime took place on the 11th August in broad daylight.
Nice.
Nice.
Outskirts of the imperial capital under a bright blue sky at a secluded bathing spot by the sea. The incident occurred inside a small beach hut erected for bathers to rest or change their clothes. Cause of death was a single stab wound in the posterior abdomen that pierced the victim's lung. Injury which proved fatal. There were two persons alone together in the beach hut at the time of the victim's death. Miss Brett, in her bathing attire, and the accused, Ray Membami. Accordingly, there could be no doubt of the accused's guilt, especially when we consider she had a powerful motive. Police arrived rapidly at the scene and promptly arrested the young lady.
Well, that extraordinary description of events leaves me somewhat lost for words, I must say.
That's certainly true. The prosecution's summary was full of words that raise an awful lot of questions. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick the prosecution counsel on what he said about a powerful motive.
I agree.
You're clearly exaggerating. Powerful motive is a blatant overstatement.
Tut tut, is the yokel boy using long words he doesn't fully understand?
I beg your pardon.
No matter. Let us put this to the accused, shall we? Membani-san, you are a research assistant at the Imperial Yume University, I believe?
Yes, I am. I'm working with Professor Mikotoba in his laboratory at the moment.
I can confirm that. The defendant is an excellent assistant with a strong sense of responsibility.
Fascinating to hear. Now, another question. Prior to your work with Professor Mikotoba, whose research were you assisting then?
Oh, I was studying under Dr. John H. Wilson.
Dr. Wilson? The visiting English professor who was murdered by Miss Brett 9 months ago.
The accused had a deep-seated respect for her former mentor, Dr. Wilson. Is that not true?
Yes.
Sorry.
You're
My
fine.
bad.
Dr. Wilson was a wonderful man.
Interesting. Then tell the court what deep-seated feelings you had towards the Englishwoman who killed him.
Well, obviously I was filled with hatred for what she'd done, a powerful hatred.
No, right. Be careful of what you're saying.
The motive was revenge. Plain and simple, Your Excellency.
Well, it was clearly a trap all along.
How wicked of him to use Ray's undying respect for her former mentor against her like that.
Whoops. I must find out more details on something we can use to bolster our defense. Can we look at that, that one piece of evidence, by the way?
You want to look at evidence?
I want to look at our... Alright, she's female and British.
Gross.
Died around 2.
Detained by examination of witness statements.
Single stab wound from behind pierced the lung. Occurred death within minutes.
Full constriction. Interesting.
Interesting indeed. I bet we'll have to point that out at some point.
Nah.
Alone or the bathing spot?
Alone. Membami-san.
Yes. What is it, I mean, Naruhodo-san.
I'm really starting to wish we'd made my alias Ryutaro Susato. Please tell the court why exactly you were present at the bathing spot with the victim in the first place, and why you were alone with her.
Oh, well, no, that's not true. It wasn't like that at all. There were other people present. A detective who was guarding Miss Brett for starters. I was just asked to accompany Miss Brett as a companion, that's all.
But let us be clear. At the moment of her death, you were alone together with the victim in the hut. You and no one else. The truth is, there is only one reason why this young woman accompanied Miss Brett in her bathing sojourn. Was the accused's last chance to take the victim's life.
No!
Because, as we know, the following day would see Miss Brett extradited to the British authorities in Shanghai. The accused would never have an opportunity to dispatch her again.
Kindly refrain from conjecture, Counsel.
Tish, ha, ha.
The prosecution counsel seems to enjoy using provocative tricks like that. But for now at least, we need to assemble more facts. Try not to let him goad you.
Oh, dear, this is really terrifying, but Father's right, we need more info. As a lawyer, I should pick up on the statements pressed by the prosecutor, including the bathing spot.
Bum bum.
If I may, Prosecutor Ouchie.
What do you want, you fresh-faced young yokel student?
I wonder, could you explain, please? You mentioned a bathing spot.
Ha! My apologies. Clearly my modernity has confused the poor country bumpkin's simple mind. Bathing spots are the very latest trend in health practices from the West. We are told that bathing in the water of the ocean is curative, therapeutic, and excellent for the skin's...
No, that's not what I meant. I was referring to the fact that Miss Brett had, to all intents and purposes, been found guilty of murder. Why would a known criminal have been relaxing by the sea?
For old time's sake, I believe.
Sorry?
Miss Brett was to depart for Shanghai the following day. Her final wish, as it were, was to enjoy a day at our country's wonderful coasts. The British Embassy put extreme pressure on our government to comply.
But on what grounds would we agree to such a request?
Because, as usual, our government is unable to stand up to foreign powers. In matters of diplomacy, it seems we don't even have the courage to decline the whims of a known criminal.
Don't look at me, Professor. It was the government who granted permission, not I. In any case, it was decided that with a dedicated detective on duty, nothing could go wrong.
But in fact, a murder took place.
I said don't look at me! It was the young student girl who did it, not I.
No one has proved that yet.
I wouldn't provoke the man if you don't need to. I believe we have a clear picture of the incident now. Despite her guilt being determined 9 months ago, Miss Brett managed to avoid incarceration, instead continuing her research at the university. Obviously, over that period, she and Ray would have encountered each other on a number of occasions.
Seeing the murder of a mentor for whom she had such great respect enjoying such undeserved liberty.
Yes, even it was only temporary until Miss Brett's extradition to Shanghai. You can hardly blame Ray for her feelings of anger and resentment.
Poor Ray.
So, Your Excellency, if you'd be so kind as to peruse this exhibit. A photographic print that shows the scene of the crime immediately following the grim accident. Ooh, damn, girl.
Yes, thank you, Counsel. A tragic image.
As you can clearly see, there is nowhere within the hut that anyone else could have hidden.
Court will accept this photographic print as evidence.
Whoa.
Neat.
As I understand it then, the victim and the defendant were alone inside the beach hut at the time.
Yeah, that's cool. Shut the fuck up and let me examine this evidence.
Hold on,
right.
hold on.
Oh. Hold on.
No, not you. Telling the judge to shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, she was poisoned.
Alright, she has a pen in her hand.
Open and shut case. There's a pen. She had her stupid little mask. I hope the goose is okay. It doesn't look like it.
Look at them footprints.
Mask. Jewelry. Boot. Okay. Does look like a...
She used Destiny Bond on the goose.
Wow, yeah, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
damn.
There's a lot going on right here. If this were an Ace Attorney game, I'd be like, oh, that's just the police being dumb fucks, but probably evidence. What's this? What's this? What's that?
Kapu. Wainu.
Oh, I knew.
Okay.
Neat.
Well, R.I.P. Goose, you deserved better.
Yep.
That goose is cooked.
The goose is cooked.
This is deeply troubling, I must say. The finger of guilt points firmly at the defendant.
Well, Your Excellency, naturally, the prosecution has much more to its case. We intend to prove the accused's appalling actions beyond all possible contention. To that end, I can confirm that we have multiple witnesses to the crime and damning evidence.
Well, witnesses? But who?
One of whom, I might add, is a highly respected police detective.
Oh, is it time?
I assure you, the testimony of these witnesses will leave no room for doubt.
Yeah.
Nick, is it fucking time?
Oh.
Is it time for you to smoke 10 packs of cigarettes at once?
Very well then, counsel. Bring forth your witnesses.
I, Takatsuchi Ouchi, have been waiting for this moment.
Sorry?
Oh yes, I haven't forgotten. That trial 9 months ago here in this very courthouse. When that irreverent little student boy utterly humiliated me. Ryunosuke Naruto!
What, yeah?
This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten.
You become conceited with age, Counsel. The old have to stand aside and make way for the new.
Ooh.
It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Yeah.
And he never put his hair back up again.
Strike the head of a samurai whose top knot has been cut, and the bell of cultural enlightenment tolls. Yes, on that fateful day, my former self died.
God fucking damn it.
The start of your own mini Meiji revolution. Are you modernizing as well, Counsel?
Silence! Since I swore revenge back then, there has been a minor miracle atop my head. Observe the ouchie growth.
No!
You see this seed of hope sprouting forth from the barren expanse of my crown?
I think that tiny growth is trying to tell me something.
I'm afraid I can't really see. Where is the hope exactly?
I said silence! Today, I face another yokel student of the Naruhodo clan. Well, I will vanquish you. My victory will be the fertilizer for the seed of hope atop my head. You have been warned. With that, the prosecution calls the witnesses to the stand.
It looks as the stakes are high on both sides in this trial. The prosecution and defense each has much to lose.
A haircut is hardly comparable to Ray's life. Oh my god.
There he is. There he is!
Holy shit.
All-star cast, baby!
Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court.
Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Imperial Police Bureau. I'm in disguise, obviously, so I can't go undetected.
He literally has a fucking turtle on his head. He literally has a fucking turtle
He literally
on his
has
head.
a fucking turtle on
Nick,
top
this
of
is your
his head.
character.
I'm in disguise.
I am, well, the next big thing in books, an author renowned throughout the capital, in fact, yes. Soon to be sold out the satirical I Am a Cat, a sensational success by Soseki Natsume.
Oh, he's got confidence now.
Yeah.
You wrote a
Oh
book?
my goodness.
Struggling student from the provinces, please. You needn't be in awe of me.
I need it?
It's only natural that you'd feel nervous in my presence, but all of you, please, relax. Call me Soseki, even.
Yeah. What the fuck is he doing here?
Tread carefully, Susato. The fellow knows you from your time in London, doesn't he? If he exposes you for who you really are, this will be over before it's even begun.
Yes, of course. I know. I presume Soseki-san won't have forgotten about me. I could certainly never forget him. Although he does seem to have changed somewhat in the 6 months or so it's been since I last saw him. And as for Inspector Hasanaga, that amazing outfit is hard to believe.
Something on my face.
God, I love that no matter what he's doing, he always has the fucking waiter claw.
Well, your glasses for one, although they don't seem to be helping you see. Thank goodness he hasn't recognized me either.
I suppose it's the disguise, isn't it? I thought that appearing here in the clothes I was wearing at the time would make for a more faithful testimony. It is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly.
Oh my god, were you the fucking detective that was supposed to protect her?
Well,
God.
I can appreciate why an Imperial Police Bureau detective might have been present. But what business did a writer such as yourself have being at the scene, Soseki-san?
Ah, well, you see, I've been asked that day to give a lecture. On the morning of the incident, the Imperial Yume University's Grand Lecture Hall, no less.
At Yume University?
After the lecture, I had a very pleasant conversation with a researcher from the medical science department. Professor over there, in fact.
With Professor Mikotoba?
Yeah, that's right. It was arranged by one of the newspapers. They wanted some story or other about 2 former students who studied in Great Britain.
Of course, being a renowned author, the press never leave me alone. They secretly spy, snapshot, scribble stories, and scupper my privacy.
I love how Lupin the Third, that character in the background, looks.
Oh yeah.
As you can see, the conversation was written up in this newspaper here.
Evidence.
Evidence, evidence, evidence.
Read it at your leisure, my provincial, struggling student friend. I have plenty of copies.
Oh, thank you so much. Practically threw the paper at me.
Ooh. Anyway, following my interview with the professor, shut the fuck up and look at the evidence.
Oh,
that's a
look at
good
the
picture.
cat.
Yay! I love.
All right, Nick.
Alright,
What can you read?
yeah, start reading all this, Nick.
No.
Alright, so I guess what we can glean, he's holding a little fan in his hand. He's got a little kitty
Oh,
in his lap.
there's a crack in the camera lens.
Oh. Aw.
Huh.
No, that's just lightning about to strike Soseki.
Oh, okay. Alright, yeah.
That's
got
what it is.
Obviously.
Can I? It hasn't prompted me with a
No
thing where I
flipping for you.
No flipping. Not yet.
So as I was saying, the lady in question appeared and made a very unexpected announcement. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. Those were her words.
As I explained before, Miss Brett was never taken into custody. She continued to work in my laboratory, under strict surveillance, of course.
At which utterance, the university immediately contacted the government to seek guidance. The response was, permit Miss Brett to go as long as a detective accompanies her.
That detective, I will already divulge, is me, Chief Inspector Hosonaga.
You fool.
The fucking turtle's head does a boing.
Thereby, the entire party departed cordially for the seaside, it seems.
It was extremely challenging to clear all the other members of the public from the vicinity of the beach.
Cough, cough.
But fortunately, I'm in peak physical fitness at the moment, so I was able to carry out my duty flawlessly.
God, I hate that you're gonna die. What the fuck?
Oh, my Inspector, you. Well, you do have something on your face now. His towel has turtles on it too.
How unsightly, I do apologize.
Does that mean you went to the beach too, Father?
No, fortunately I had work to finish. But unfortunately, of course, it meant that my assistant Ray was invited to take my place.
Of course, being a renowned author, I didn't like to decline the invitation. Ah, but if only I had, I'd never seen that awful sight. relentlessly racked by remorse and regret.
Ooh.
Yeah, this guy's good.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. I must now ask you to present your formal testimony to the court. You will give an account of all that you witnessed on your impromptu excursion to the coast.
Stop coughing.
Stop it.
Of course, Your Excellency.
Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret I am.
Here, can we take a small break here?
Yeah.
Just a small BRB.
Yeah.
Everything okay?
Yeah.
Be right back, everyone.
Okay,
We're back.
Yep.
they're judging us.
I'm gonna judge them.
Do you know that 1 in 3 people are gay? Well, Soseki, I'm not gay. Hitachi? What's his name?
Togashi.
Togashi. Togashi, I'm not gay either. Looks at the camera like this.
The turtle.
The turtle is gay.
You're right.
On the day of the incident, I was ordered on a special surveillance assignment in this disguise.
Just managed to catch that crab when I suddenly heard a caterwaul behind me.
I ran into the beachhead once where I found the pair in question.
Yes, that young girl was astride the Englishwoman, dagger in hand, as she stabbed wildly.
Whoa.
I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me she'd stabbed the victim multiple times.
But it was a single stab wound.
Ooh, got him.
Got him.
Indeed, it does appear from the testimony that both witnesses here present saw it.
Guilty.
The very moment of this heinous crime.
False.
What?
Now, if you will recall, I promised evidence as well. What phrase did I use again? Ah, yes, that was it. Damning evidence.
Do not swear in my courtroom, counsel.
Uh-huh.
A so-called fountain pen, is it?
Correct, Your Excellency. I found that it's a scene whilst examining the body. It appears at her dying moments with a final ounce of strength. Clutched a piece of evidence that would positively identify the killer.
What?
Your Excellency, if you would cast your eyes over the photographic print of the crime scene once more.
Ah, goodness me. Yes, the victim is clearly grasping something quite deliberately there in her hand.
Much like your witnesses are grasping at straws.
That's right, the fountain pen. If you would kindly examine the pen, Your Excellency.
It's a gun.
The owner's initials have been engraved into the ebonite barrel. Ronald McDonald. Ray Mimbani. The initials of the defendant.
No. Nope.
I love that she's just tick-tack doing all of Naruhodo's fucking animations. This is wonderful.
Uh-huh.
The fountain pen will be admitted immediately as critical evidence.
I'm sure that won't bite me in the butt.
So, have I omitted anything except for the fact that I'm shutting the fuck up? No! Oh, it's doing the thing where it's eating inputs. Oh, is that... Oh, that's it.
Oh, we can't, like, examine.
It's just a pen.
It's just a pen. Decisive testimony and damning evidence. There's a bright blue sky outside the courthouse today. Perfect weather to ascribe guilt, I feel.
I don't understand. The prosecutor ouchie of 9 months ago had none of this man's poise.
Counsel for the defense. You may begin your cross-examination now. Naruhodo-san.
Naruhodo. That means... Oh, yeah. Yep, me.
Is there another Naruhodo in my court?
Actually, there isn't even a single Naruhodo in your courtroom.
Cousin Ryutaro, pull yourself together, please.
Alright, I've seen this countless times as a judicial assistant. Finding inconsistencies in the witnesses' testimonies. Finding proof that they're lying somehow. That's all there is to it. That's how a real lawyer would handle a cross-examination. Let's see what I can do.
Can I just speedrun this shit and present the fucking goddamn...
Yeah.
If you feel so like it.
Let's do it.
If you are that confident.
Blah 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah 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 blah.
Oops.
Nice.
Oh.
Oh!
With that accusatory cry that just welled up from deep inside me, I think I finally understand. Every time Kazuma-sama and Naruto-san had stood here at this bench,
Naruto-san!
the stakes have been very, very, very high indeed.
What's the meaning of that menacing pose, Council?
I'd like the witness to clarify something for me.
Who? What? Where? When? How?
Not you, Saseki-san. The query is directed at Inspector Hosonaga.
Me?
In your statement just now, you said the victim was stabbed multiple times.
Yeah. As I said, I entered the Jabba Hut. And the defender was already standing over the victim, bloody knife in hand like a murderous demon.
And yet, that cannot be.
Get to the point, please, Counsel.
In the post-mortem report, it clearly states that the victim was stabbed one time only. In other words, Inspector Hosanaga's testimony is clearly flawed. And Soseki-san,
Me?
you claim to have seen Mimbani-san in the throes of stabbing the victim.
Yes. Yes, I did. Wildly.
But both you and the inspector confirmed the same point. That there was already blood on the knife that you saw the defendant holding.
And
It's quite simple. You know that the murder weapon was used to stab the victim only once. Therefore, there is no way there could have been blood on the knife if that single stabbing hadn't already occurred.
True.
And what exactly is your contention, Counsel? Are you ever going to tell us?
Yes, Your Excellency. There's only one logical conclusion. What Soseki-san in fact saw was not the moment that the defendant stabbed the victim at all, but the moment that the defendant in fact withdrew the blade from the victim's body.
Can't be.
Excellent work, Susato. We exploded at them with that objection and then proceeded to pull them apart systematically.
Well, this takes me back. Yes, I seem to remember your cousin staged a scene much like this in that trial 9 months ago. A half-witted child with a half-baked objection, attempting to steal the show.
There were certain similarities. That the so-called half-witted child managed to outwit the prosecution, who was only half the head of hair.
Ooh.
Slander! My head is quite adequately dressed! In any case, all this talk of stabbing and withdrawing and multiple wounds makes not a jot of difference.
What? Why not?
Engage your brain, young man! When the accused first plunged the deadly weapon into the victim, that was the fatal blow. It was that moment, just as she had withdrawn the blade ready for her next strike, that the witnesses saw. The knife was already tainted with blood because the accused had already stabbed the victim.
Ah.
All you have successfully shown with your little display is that the mustached author is prone to moments of extravagance.
Ah!
I am in agreement with the prosecution. If the defendant was seen wielding the blade at all, that is sufficient grounds for her actions to be viewed with suspicion.
But if she was withdrawing the blade...
We are back where we started.
Sorry?
Consider this, young Yoko boy. The student girl is innocent, as you claim, and why would she have pulled the blade from the victim, and with a demon's cold-blooded composure, too? Prosecution demands an explanation, and it better be good.
Why did Ray pull out the knife?
Oh, it's for the jugular.
What does father mean by that?
Let the court hear your counsel then. Counsel.
The truth is, I don't really know. But I have to come up with a plausible reason here, or we don't have a case. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife blade out of the victim's body was surely so she could... Save her life.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna say. According to the post-mortem report, the victim's death was not instant.
That's correct. It's thought she would have remained conscious for a short while after sustaining the injury.
Indeed, giving her the time to take hold of this piece of evidence that clearly indicates her killer.
But the point is, being a medical research assistant, Minbani-sen was compelled to act when faced with the wounded victim. Instinctively, she pulled the blade out in an attempt to save Miss Brett's life.
That don't work.
It don't work.
Tish, did you hear that, Your Excellency? See, this is the best we can expect of this young yokel.
Indeed.
Is it just me, or does it suddenly feel much colder in here?
Your Excellency, if I may,
Speak, witness.
I'd like another opportunity to testify in respect to the slipshod assertion just put forward by the Yokel Defense Council, I mean.
Slipshod? Sorry, I was sipping on my coffee. My coffee is done now.
Fuck yeah. Tish, an excellent idea, Inspector. Our young yokel hopeful has a modicum of knowledge when it comes to the law, it seems. But in matters of medicine, he appears to possess not one iota of common sense.
Very well, Inspector. I will permit your request. You will testify again before the court on the subject of the defense counsel's assertion.
Yes,
Oh,
I
it's
will
so
do so
sexy.
flawlessly. Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. That's basic knowledge that any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense ought to know. In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the blade from the victim. Let's not forget that the young student did have a motive for killing the victim. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago was the defendant's highly respected mentor.
Like the turtle is frowning up there. Is that what you just said true, Inspector? Could it pulling a knife from a room really cause? Sorry, I saw a message from my boss and wanted to make sure it was not anything important. It was not.
Okay.
Could pulling a knife from the wound really cause the wound to bleed heavily?
Is this the third time we've established this in this series? At least the second.
At least the second, yeah.
Phoenix has got to learn. Other guy has to learn. She has to learn.
I guess it is, yeah.
Everyone's got to learn.
Yeah, that's the thing. The weapon is to stop it, the wound that prevents excessive blood loss. Until a doctor is ready to provide proper treatment, that stopper shouldn't be removed.
Oh, I see.
This is why yokels should stay on the farm. Even a quack from some obscure mountain village would have such basic knowledge. Anyone who's ever given someone a little poke with a knife and pulled it out again knows it.
Oh, well, I've never stabbed anyone, you see, or pulled a blade out of a wound, so...
Of course you haven't. I didn't bring you up to behave like a bandit.
Father, is it true what they're telling me?
Yes, it's basic remedial knowledge for medics. Ray would have been well aware of it. If she were to claim ignorance of such fundamentals, that would prove fatal in many ways.
But then why would Ray have done it? Could she have pulled out the knife in full knowledge that would be fatal from its spread?
Oh.
Ray never once mentioned anything about a knife to me. Seems almost impossible to believe, but could my friend actually have...
Sato,
Yeah?
pull yourself together. We mustn't lose sight of why we're here.
Ah.
Counsel, it's time for your cross-examination.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency.
However, I must warn that if your cross-examination fails to identify any issue with the established facts, I will be moving to my adjudication immediately afterwards.
I understand. Believing in your clients and fighting for their cause until the bitter end. That's my Nendo. My ninja way. Gosh, Sato is so freaking cute!
Yeah. What's up with that?
You say doing it without thinking could be a problem. Does that mean if you use due care and attention, it would be alright?
I wouldn't have thought this needed spelling out, really. But the blade is like a stop on the wound, remove it, and a serious hemorrhage will occur. In other words, a medic would need to be present before any attempt was made to withdraw the blade.
The medic was present.
Doing it without thinking would be madness. You can't just do it.
Oh, well, thank you for such a thorough explanation.
You see, Council, when you act without thinking, the result is a bloodbath.
Bloodbath.
Ugh.
Back to the witness testimony, please.
In that case, there's an obvious explanation here.
Which is...
Clearly, the defendant, Raymond Bami-sen, does not possess an ounce of sense.
What do you think about that, Professor Mikitoba?
I'm not sure you should be labeling your best friend as lacking in common sense.
Well, I thought it would be better than labeling her as a murderer.
I don't know. Young people today, if that's friendship, I don't understand it.
Careful, Council.
Oh!
A lack of common sense can be a very dangerous thing.
Dangerous indeed. Oh dear, that recoiled on me rather badly.
That's life, I'm afraid. A lesson everyone must learn.
Hopefully you can see now that this is really basic medical knowledge. Being involved in medical research, Mimbani-san would surely have been aware of it.
But if the defendant had suddenly encountered somebody she knew lying on the ground bleeding to death, the sight could have shocked her delicate sensibilities, causing her to remove the blade inadvertently.
I really don't think inadvertent actions can explain this. Thulman is a medical research assistant. I can't imagine she would behave so irrationally.
Oh, but irrational behavior is a woman's prerogative, isn't it?
Oh dear, you have a lot to learn about women. Only a small-minded man could have such bigoted views.
Damn. Oh dear, perhaps I'm letting my male persona take hold a little too much.
Managed to convey the basics now. That should cover the medical side of the argument.
That's such a shit-eating grin.
It is.
It's like, did you get that?
Whatever the motive, it just isn't in Mimbami-san nature to do something so awful.
But she had both motive and opportunity. It's very hard to argue against.
But you don't know the defendant.
And you, Council, do not appear to know the law.
Yes, evidence is the only way to convince the court of your argument, not feelings.
This fledgling to defender, I would almost say I pity the accused.
So do I.
Inspector, you will reiterate your point about the defendant's motive, please.
Yeah, Miss Brett was in many ways a sworn enemy of Mimbani-san.
What?
Oh.
Well, yes, that's true. Dr. Wilson recognized Mimbami's talent and offered her the position of assistant, despite her being a woman. He was extremely grateful to him.
Yeah, the Englishman appears to have been a very broad-minded individual.
Dr. Wilson had no time for outdated traditions. He was met with opposition, of course, but he firmly believed in Miss Mimbani-san's abilities.
Clearly the defendant was in the man's debt, which only serves to prove my point.
This is hopeless. I can't find a single crack in this testimony anywhere. If Ray knew that withdrawing the knife from the wound would threaten Miss Brett's life further, I just can't think of any way to explain why she did it.
Sato, Times like this, when it's especially important to remember the fundamentals.
The fundamentals?
Evidence is what counts in the courtroom, isn't it?
Of course, but I've been through the court record dozens of times already.
Have you? Yeah.
But have you tried flipping it over? I think perhaps you're forgetting something though.
Oh.
Objects are three-dimensional. You needn't take the evidence at face value. You must and can examine it in greater detail.
I can examine my evidence?
You can now. I have granted you the power of the R button. I realize this is your first time. If you need reminding of the remudants, you need only ask. I'll do my very best to help.
Examine the evidence in the court record is an idea. Yeah, that's right.
Pops.
Come on, Pops. Come to think of it, Kazuma-sama and Naruto-san were always turning evidence over and over and over and in their hands.
Naruto-san.
I should examine things in greater detail with A.
Is it unlocked?
At the end of this scene,
Hey, let's go.
What's all this?
What's out of this, Sid?
If we take off the pen's lid, is a pen. Now let's unscrew the barrel, shall we? This must be the little reservoir that holds the ink.
Yes, you fill it by drawing ink from a bottle up through the nib.
Is something wrong, Father?
God, her character portrait is so fucking good.
I love
Yeah.
it.
There doesn't actually appear to be any ink in there, that's all.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's pretty much empty. Well, it could be on the verge of running out, I suppose. Do. There's some sort of emblem here. Look, but it isn't Yume University.
That's called the Squid Games. It must belong to some other organization, some of the business.
Shady business.
That would seem to imply the pin doesn't in fact belong to Ray.
That could be
Roy Mustang.
Roy. They just fucked up the B really bad. It's actually WB.
that's a Y. It is a Y.
Y.
It's
Oh.
Wally Yarno.
Damn.
The Armin initials are very clearly engraved here.
The fact that Miss Brett was clinging to this pen in her dying moments is clearly a message, too.
To identify her killer, you mean?
I don't think there can be any doubt that this is a piece of evidence in this case.
Wow, I should examine it with A very thoroughly.
There.
It's a good thing I believe we did.
But what's this?
Rakshas returnees tell all. This is the interview with you and Soseki-san, isn't it? It looks as though it was quite an exchange.
Yeah, he became a little over-animated when he was talking about his time in England. The photographer managed to capture the moment his hand karate chopped me on the neck.
I do hope you weren't hurt.
But what's with the cracked lens?
Check out the back.
Huh?
Check out the back.
Yeah, what's the news?
Like the menu? Maybe?
This is the newspaper from Soseki-san. There seems to be an important article on the back page as well. Exclusive, deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory.
You know, when I saw the wine, I was joking about the poison, but you know what? I'm just that smart.
From Yume's Medical Research... Dad, isn't this your lab?
What in tarnation? Let me see that. The poison's been stolen?
My poison!
It's in this morning's paper that Soseki-san gave us. Are you saying you didn't know?
It's embarrassing if it is for the head of the laboratory to say. I didn't. I've heard no such thing.
Yep, that's pretty embarrassing.
Where on earth could the reporter have gleaned this information?
Come to think of it, there was no article mentioning the story in our paper this morning, was there?
It's a highly toxic poison we've been working on in the strictest confidence. Put Ray in charge of the project.
Ray? She was managing it?
What's written here is true. means that she tried to hide the theft from me. And the details were leaked somehow.
I don't believe it.
We need to read this article very carefully.
Poisonous article.
Nice.
Well, that's not very ye or haw.
That's not ye or haw at all. Nope, just this. Yeah. You've got the pen in your hand. Single stab wound.
To the back.
But there was a knife in your back.
I bet the poison is in the pen.
Poison in pen. Poison put into wine.
Sip, sip, sip.
Stab! My name's Ray. I'm like, whoop, whoop, whoop.
You're
I
like,
walk up, I go, oh no! I remove the knife and then everyone walks up and I'm like, shit. Case closed.
you got something in your back. Oh shit.
I think we got another piece of evidence.
Ah, by the look in your eyes, I can see it's coming back to you. Hold that thought.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Explosive, deadly poison from Yume Medical Research Laboratory stolen. Following a lecture at Yume by Sasaki Natsume on 11th of August, it's come to light that a very disturbing incident took place. A deadly poison being serially developed by the university's forensic science laboratory was stolen. Deadly event in tiny quantities, even the smallest, entering the body either via mouth or via wound in the poison-laced blade would prove fatal in minutes. Current methods cannot detect the newly developed chemical. The university would have to be consulted. Why is the poison being developed? Onset of the symptoms occur in minutes, starting with impaired breathing and ending of the acute contraction of the pupils prior to death. Such symptoms would be suggestive of this toxin. It's apparently a new synthesis of alkaloids and rumored to have been commissioned by the military.
Well, good thing there's nothing to glean from that article whatsoever.
Oh yeah,
Anyways,
nothing at all.
Useless. Useless.
Especially with the contracted eyes
Yeah,
as
nothing.
like a side effect.
Nothing.
I don't even get why they put that in there in the first place.
Not even the game mocking you by having the next line be by the look in your eyes.
By
Definitely not.
the look of your contracted pupils. Go through the court record again and have a thorough look at everything. You
At
need to find a clue.
everything. Yes, I'll do it straight away. I have done it.
Alright. Now where's the fucked up part?
Oh!
You get
There is a good reason that she had for pulling the knife out. It's because she knew the knife was laced with poison?
The boys.
No.
Poison knife.
Goose was poison.
There's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull him victim. But how would she know? That means she
knows
knew-
the effects of the poison, right?
She recognizes the effects. You're right. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm done. But first.
Let's say. Oh. Yep. That's definitely what you were gonna do.
All right. We're file number
4.
well, I don't want to override it.
You can do 5.
File number 5.
5.
Because we're alive.
Yay!
Yeah.
Love it.
Unlike Cosmo.
Just cause.
F.
Present.
Present that evidence.
Oh,
Why'd you do it, Cosmo? Just cause.
Just cause, Suma. Huh? Oh, ha, ha.
No, there is one possibility. One very good reason why the defendant might have decided to withdraw the knife from the victim's wound.
What?
The yokel not only has a poor grasp of the law, but is also a poor loser. Tell us then, what possibility do you think you've identified?
It's here, in this newspaper article. An article about a deadly poison having been stolen from a laboratory at the Imperial Yume unit.
The victim perished from a stab wound. Poison has no relevance in this case. Nah.
But
Prosecutor Ouchie, you will let the defense speak.
But a newspaper article, the court cannot rely on the kind of hearsay those wretched publications carry.
yikes.
Counsel for the defense? I'm going to need some tangible basis for your claim. You will indicate the court precisely what part of the newspaper article mentioned affirms your assertion.
Your Excellency!
Yes, of course. Thank you. I would never have done something to further endanger Miss Brett's life without just cause.
Arigato, Judge-san.
The reason why the defendant pulled the knife from the victim's body is explained in the article where it says, deadly in tiny quantities. The article reveals the following property about the poison in question. When the toxin enters the body on a knife laced with the poison, it's rapidly absorbed and causes death in minutes.
Are you suggesting?
If the knife used to attack Miss Brett was laced with this very poison, it would explain why the defendant, Membami-san, would have withdrawn the blade as soon as possible. Yes, the truth is, it was an attempt to stop the poison from entering the victim's body.
What?
This is complete and utter nonsense!
Not at all. The defendant withdrew the knife blade from the victim's body not to accelerate the woman's demise, but to save her life, and the prosecution cannot deny the possibility.
Have you not read the post-mortem report? The cause of death was hemorrhage. The word poison appears nowhere in the document.
Well, that's
Untraceable.
That's because by acting quickly to remove the blade, the defendant prevented the poison from taking hold.
Oh, please, this is clearly desperation, the weasel's last breaking of wind. Poisoning has nothing whatsoever to do with this case, as I believe the defense is well aware. I have no proof that the information in this wretched newspaper article is at all reliable anyway. Ooh.
In this situation, what the student should have done is wait for the medical assistants to arrive.
He's a medical student,
But
though.
instead you claim she suspected poisoning and took the potentially lethal action to remove the blade? She must have had a strong reason for the suspicions there, or the argument makes no sense.
Look in her eyes. Exactly. Well put, Inspector. On what grounds did she do it? Yokel?
Why did Ray suspect the stolen poison was involved? If you want grounds, I'll give you grounds.
What?
You can't possibly.
Give me the coffee beans.
From your expression, counsel, it would appear that those are not empty words. But naturally, as you stand in this courtroom as a lawyer, you must be aware. Words alone, empty or not, are of no value in our modern justice system. The court demands evidence.
Yes, Your Excellency, I'm well aware of that. I've seen it many times, from my place at his side in the Old Bailey.
In that case, counsel, you will present the proof to the court now. What evidence demonstrates a clear link between this case and the poison in the newspaper article?
Bump, bump, bump. Yeah? The evidence demonstrates a clear link between this case and the poison in the article. Oh, yeah. Because examine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oats.
Or not. Or yes, I would ask the court to refer to the notes section of the post-mortem reports, which reads, extreme mitosis, pupil constriction, was observed in the victim. Clearly, being a yokel with no knowledge of forensic science, I have no idea. So please do tell me. Presumably, the fact that this condition of the victim was noted in the post-mortem report means that it's an unusual symptom of death.
Well,
Under normal circumstances, the pupils dilate when someone dies. If there was an extreme constriction instead, that's most certainly unusual, yes.
what are you doing, you yokel detective?
In the newspaper article, there's the following information about the stolen poison. Onset of symptoms occur in minutes, ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death.
What?
If the defendant, upon seeing the victim stabbed in the back, happened to notice that the pupils on Miss Brett's eyes had constricted severely,
Yes. As a medical research assistant, she would have suspected poison immediately, without doubt.
Prosecutor Ouchie, I think you'll agree that this is very compelling evidence.
You, yokel student and yokel professor!
I believe the defense has expertly demonstrated a credible reason for the defendant's actions.
No. I'm from the science team. Oh, I'm sorry.
Eugene Mikotoba. Yes, Your Excellency. I believe you are best placed here to confirm or deny the veracity of the defense's counsel's arguments. You will tell the court the truth about the details reported in this newspaper, please. It pains me to have to admit it, but I'm afraid I don't know. You don't know? Toxin was kept under lock and key in my laboratory, certainly, but I was unaware of any theft. Do you mean to tell the court that the reports of the theft are unfounded? No, Your Excellency. About returning to the laboratory to investigate myself, I couldn't say.
Listen to this bumbling academic. Unaware of the theft of secret state research from his own workplace until he reads of it in the newspaper?
I take full responsibility for the incompetence of my supervision.
Father.
It's a pitiful situation for a university professor. You should have more control over your students, rather than allowing them off on killing sprees.
That's totally
Eh.
Ray? Yeah.
Let's go. Oh. None of this is Professor Mikotoba's fault. It's all my fault.
Ray.
Nembani-san, you stand accused here. Outbursts like this will not be tolerated.
But it was me. I was the one who noticed the poison we were developing had been stolen that day.
What?
So you knew.
I'd been placed in charge of overseeing the project. It was the day that the professor and Soseki-san were interviewed together for the newspaper. That's when I noticed that some of the poison was missing. Just a tiny amount it was.
Why didn't you let me know immediately?
I was scared. The whole project was supposed to be confidential, but some of the toxin had somehow been taken. So I decided I'd try to get it back before anyone else found out. Because I had a very good idea who the thief was.
A thief? You don't mean...
Yes, of course. It was that dainty English woman.
Miss Giselle Brett?
I decided to join the little group of people going to the seaside. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable. I know it was you who stole the poison.
Well, no. Whatever do you mean?
And then... she suddenly got to her feet, before falling to her knees in front of me and then collapsing on the floor. That's when I saw the knife in her back. I couldn't understand what had just happened. And then, a moment later, I was seized with fear. The pupils of her eyes they'd shrunk to tiny pinpoints.
I don't believe it. In other words, you realized that the victim was suffering the effects of the stolen poison.
My mind started racing. I hadn't seen anything past Miss Brett's lips whilst I'd been with her. She left only one possible way for the poison to have entered her body.
On the blade of the knife in her back.
That train of thought was what spurred you to withdraw the blade.
Yes, if the amount that had entered her bloodstream was small enough, she might still have a chance. That's what I hoped. Really, I'm so sorry for staying silent all this time.
Your attempt to hide the truth of what happened is not something that can be overlooked. However, I have duly noted the courage with which you have confessed in the end.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
It's barely perceptible, but I do think that the balance has shifted a little here in the courtroom now.
Your Excellency, do not be deceived. Look at my bored apes, please. Freedom has collapsed before your eyes, you say? Well, Membani-san, if that's the case, perhaps you could explain how Miss Brett came to be stabbed. Well, you have no answer because the simple truth. You stabbed the victim motivated by revenge.
But you have no conclusive evidence to prove that assertion, do you? Actually...
Oh, I have evidence, and it is very much conclusive. My mother said so herself.
What's the prosecution What's the counsel up to? It was brief, but he hesitated for a moment there. I'm almost sure of it.
Time for secret victim, secret witness who is the killer.
You will produce the aforementioned evidence at once, Professor Ouchie.
Perhaps some praise is due, young yokel student.
What?
I had imagined there would be no need for me to submit this evidence. But you've brought this on yourself.
Okay, but that can
What
easily
the-
be pulling. It's the same.
But a more damning shot exists? The cruelty in the air on the beach is almost palpable.
This evidence, more than any other, reveals the true extent of the accused's murderous nature. It shows the precise moment that Membani-san plunged her dagger into the victim's back. Oh, that's not true, no!
I don't believe it.
Bird noises. Order, order, order! Counsel for the defense, was it you who was responsible for that shrill scream that just pierced my courtroom?
Perhaps his voice is yet to break. These yokels are slow of mind and slow to mature.
You can't talk about my voice that way. I'll show you who's slow to mature.
Careful now, Susato is starting to show her face here. It is often said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and here we have ample proof. The court will accept this extremely coherent photograph print as evidence.
I can't believe he's had a photograph like that up his sleeve the entire time.
A photograph like this. Okay.
Alright.
Can we see her hand? No. Can't see if she's gripping the pen or not.
Her eyes are closed. The back, this entire back thing is open. This camera glass break is the same. The lens.
No, that's just Ray about to be struck by lightning.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Got it. Damn, shame that keeps happening.
Yeah.
That's a really good catch. Not... Oh! It's gotta be... Okay, the fucking dude who's been taking pictures for Soseki also took this picture.
Oh my god.
And he's gonna be the next witness.
That sounds right to me.
And also maybe the murderer, question mark?
Yeah, because there's this just hole in the wall here, you know, stick the knife on through it.
Oh, damn. Lupin the Third, murderer?
Lupin!
It's such a stark image, I'm genuinely lost for words.
Wait a minute, I don't understand. How did you... I mean, who took that photograph?
Ray.
That's of no importance here. Stop trying to divert attention. Oh,
No, actually, that's a good point. That's an absurd thing to say. It's crucially important. Whoever took this photographic print was a witness to Miss Brett's death. The court must be allowed to hear this person's testimony.
Will uphold the defense's demand. The prosecution will reveal the identity of the person responsible for taking this photograph at once.
Alright, and his initials are WY, right?
well, I'm afraid I can't do that.
Pardon?
Pee-pee poo-poo. That's why. You see, this print arrived at the Imperial Police Bureau headquarters by express post yesterday. But there was nothing to indicate the sender's name or address. The provenance of the print is unknown.
Goodness.
Are we to understand then, Counsel, That in full knowledge of the fact that this photograph had the murkiest of origins, you nevertheless believe it fit for submission as evidence in the Supreme Court?
When you first produced that print before, I noticed that you hesitated for a brief moment, because you knew that it wasn't completely reliable evidence, didn't you?
Silence, you yokel student and blabbering professor! What matters is the blatant truth that this print so eloquently expresses.
But the defendant has already admitted to pulling the blade from the wound. Clearly, this isn't the moment that the knife was plunged into the victim's back, but...
The moment it was withdrawn? Don't waste this court's time with your ramblings.
Indeed, without knowledge of who produced this print, we have no means of verifying the claim. And the scene it captures is without doubt the most compelling evidence presented to the court. If the defense is unable to shed any further light on the matter, I believe the conclusion is over.
Oh no.
Susato,
It's time for you to fight. Well, tell us. If what you've established so far is true, there can be no doubt.
Fighto!
This photograph shows the moment that Ray withdrew the blade from the victim.
Yeah, we just need to prove that somehow.
Well, plenty of time to rue your defeat on the slow train back to the provinces. And to rue the day you came up against Taketsuchi Ouchi in a court of law.
If I can't determine who took this photograph, then the trial is going to come to an end. There must be a clue somewhere. There must be some way of knowing who took this photo.
Well, counsel?
Your Excellency, the burning question is who took that photograph, and the truth is...
I know. Well, I don't know, like, their name. But I have the answer.
Yeah.
This isn't about whether I can or I can't come up with the answer now. I simply have to. The identity of the person who took this dramatic photographic print is, I assure you, something the defense can and will reveal.
What? No, you can't possibly. But as you so boldly claim that you can, please, do enlighten us.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to present a name.
Utterly underwhelming. Did you really believe you could?
However, I am able to present evidence.
I didn't mean to pull up the evidence, but what timing? No.
You wanted to go into the evidence?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Evident?
Evidence. The defense has a piece of evidence that reveals important details about the photographer's identity.
What?
Very well then, counsel. Present your proof to the court. Which piece of evidence do you claim reveals something about the identity of the mysterious photographer?
Yeah.
Boom! What is that? The newspaper again? Rackus, England, returnees, tells all.
It's not the headline that's relevant here, Your Excellency. It's the photograph. If you look at it closely, you'll notice that there are some white lines on the right-hand side.
Ah, indeed. It already caught my eye, if it happens.
What of it? A shadow of some kind, presumably? A Seki about to be struck by lightning?
Egg!
Egg.
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 There are no trees. And
Did you put in another vote for egg?
Egg is growing in popularity. More at 11.
Now, if you look closely at this photograph, look at this photograph.
Good gracious. Good gracious.
Yes, exactly the same pattern of lines is present on this photograph too.
Wow.
Well, that tells us nothing. People get struck by lightning all the time. Ha! Yes, it's a shadow of some kind, definitely, from the branches of a tree.
There wouldn't be any trees growing inside a hut at the beach council.
What's remarkable about it is their two patterns are absolutely identical. How could such an extraordinary similarity have transpired?
curious matching pattern that appears on both photographic prints as a result of camera defect. Obviously, it must be due to a problem with the camera used to take the photographs.
With the photographic device?
Yes, we can confidently say that the camera's lens must be scratched. And that the scratched lens caused unwanted lines to appear on every print taken with the device.
In short, the two photographs under consideration here were taken with the same camera.
But there must be hundreds of such camera devices here in the capital. It would be utterly impossible to identify the owners of this particular one.
I think you're forgetting, Prosecutor Ouchie, that one of the photographs featured in a newspaper article.
A newspaper?
That's right. The author of that article is the mystery witness to this crime.
What? Wow.
Meeny, miny, mo. Uh-oh.
I see why you were called a raucous English returnee.
What are you yelling about? You've already testified. Shut up. Many memo, I tell you. Meeny memo. me, mo.
E-I-E-I-O.
Soseki-san, what was that? Did you say mini memo?
Ever since I returned to Japan, a reporter from Shoyo News has been hounding me, following my every move. Reporter by the name of Many Memo. Yes, hounding me from the dawn till dusk.
Well, how unfortunate that it was not WY. It was indeed RM.
How unfortunate indeed.
Now that he mentions it, there was that freak.
Lupin the third ass bitch.
Yup. What's up with that purple on his hand? Could that same reporter be? Oh yeah, he has a thing on his arm.
The logo.
Yeah!
Oh shit! Get fucking bent.
We got this.
I am stuck in the middle with Many Memo.
So you're saying that this picture was taken by...
Many Memo, yes, my lord, your excellency, Esquire.
Officer, find this newspaper reporter at once and bring him to my courtroom. We will adjourn for a short recess in the meantime.
Oh, yes, your excellency.
As you say, your excellency, yeah.
And one more thing. I want this knife, the murder weapon, examined for traces of poison. You will solicit the assistance of the Imperial University's medical department for the task, understood?
Meh.
Oh.
Many Memo. Oh shit.
400 points.
4,000 points.
4,000 points!
Yonsen.
Holy
Not
shit.
yonkaku.
Save complete.
Good.
By the way, I don't know how you feel about it now, because with like fewer viewers, it's a little harder, a little more skewed. But you should start thinking about there was a feature you could do on Twitch where you can essentially you can have people like quote unquote gamble channel points.
Yeah.
And so like say you guys are playing through Cuphead and you can be like,
Are we gonna... Is this the run?
Is this the run? Do we beat it in the next 10 minutes? Yes or no, that sort of thing.
Oh shit. Yeah, I've seen people do that with what's it called? Spelunky runs.
Yeah.
Nah.
So it could be good.
Do you know what that's called?
Probably like channel bets, channel point betting, something like that.
Yeah, I'll hook that up.
Didn't even think about that.
Let's go.
And it's just another way for people to spend their points without making you do push-ups.
Yeah, really.
Which, by the way, I redeemed those during the Cuphead stream and you didn't do.
Shit, okay, I'll do them for you personally.
Thank
right
you.
after this.
Thank you so much. How much longer is left in this case?
You're like about halfway through this case.
Oh, fuck. What time is it?
It is 4:30.
4:30.
I think if I have the energy for this tonight, because I do also open tomorrow.
It's okay if you want to split it.
Yeah,
I may
that's
split this one, even if it's a shorter one.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Do you think you could do the other half later this week?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
No, yeah, it's this one's a good one to just split straight down the middle.
Yeah, I think you did tell us when we finished the first game too that this first case was rather longer, right?
I mean, I think the first case of both games are both longer than normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like usually the first case is like really fucking like Frank saw it, did it, and then that's it.
Right.
It's like these two games and Apollo Justice that have like really long first cases. Like long
the
for a
Apollo
first
Justice
case. Yeah,
First case was so fucking
it was
good.
the best case in the game.
It really was.
What a scathing review. Because it just doesn't get better after the first case.
That is the game that people have the most differing opinions on by far.
Damn.
But everyone agrees that the first case is really, really good. Yeah, no, good place to stop.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
All right. Don't worry, Gabe. Egg is there's no threat to Egg right now.
Yep, none threats.
For now.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.